Well, it is 11 days, 21 hours, 54 minutes and 8 seconds to the 2023 general election as we continue to count down here on Flow 94.9 FM. Well, on the platform this morning, like you already know, the job of lawmaking requires every commitment and seriousness with a view to providing a legal framework where government activities will run on. This morning on the platform, it will be double approach to issues, as the first segment will have the ABGA candidate for Ikwuano Umuahia Federal Constituency as we x-ray his intended programs for his constituency if elected. And on the flip side this morning, another supporter of Labour Party governorship candidate in Abia State will also be in the studio to look at the reason for his support for Labour Party ahead of the governorship election in the state. Welcome. This is the platform, the pinnacle of all discussion. My name is Ginika Olwoha. Well, my guest is already in the studio, and he is the All Progressives Grand Alliance candidate for Ikwuano Umuahia Federal Constituency, Chief Engineer Umuahia Abarikwu. Thank you so much. Good morning and welcome, Chief.
Total pleasure. Thank you, Ginika.
Okay, let's just start by getting to know who exactly is Chief Engineer Umuahia Abarikwu. Your background?
Engineer Umuahia Abarikwu is a son of Igbo land here in Abia State. Studied at Methodist College Zakali and went on to the United States. Been gone for a little bit. Graduated from the University of Colorado in civil engineering. Served in the United States for about 38 years as a civil engineer. 10 out of those 38, I rose to the level of an assistant state civil engineer, and the remaining 28 years I spent as a CEO and principal of a consulting firm, a civil engineering and construction firm in the United States.
Okay, now let's get straight to your manifesto. I saw where you talked about developing a constituency master plan. Tell us, what exactly do you mean?
You just have to have a roadmap to be able to get up on any mission and know precisely how to get from point A to point B. I think in taking a very close look at what is going on in Ikwuano Umuahia Federal Constituency, I must submit that I have not yet seen a roadmap. Roadmaps are critical because as you run into issues on your way, getting from one point of your journey to another, the roadmap is something that brings you back to base if you run into issues. Also, it brings consistency in trying to deliver service to your people. Remember now that soldier will go, soldier will come. So if the constituency has a roadmap, when my time is done and I am moving on, that roadmap will become what anybody who's coming after me will follow, so that the dividends of democracy is fairly and equitably shared amongst all three local governments, and we will have a platform using this roadmap to be able to test the things that we're doing to ensure that the results that we seek, we get them. It will create transparency and opportunity for anybody who is within the constituency to know what is coming to them, what the expectations are, and if we are doing a good job, they'll keep us on the job. And if we're not doing a good job, it will be easy to identify that and throw us out of the job.
Now, talking about this constituency master plan, how do you intend to go about it, developing it? Because yes, you said you're going to develop. How? You know, because I'm sure other people must have said that we're going to do this and do that, but your constituents, they are so much interested on how you're going to do that, because so that it doesn't appear like when you get into the office, nothing will be done at the end of the day.
Okay. There are three local governments, as we all know, within the constituency. There is Ikwuano, there is Umuahia North, there is Umuahia South. This is the basics of establishing a roadmap is being able to involve stakeholders in all these three different local governments, remember now the issues that Ikwuano faces have its own nuances, and some of those are different from the issues that Umuahia North local government faces, as well as Umuahia South. So first thing we need to do is identify who these key stakeholders are, and these will include community leaders, it will include the youths, it will include women. We sit together in a town hall format and talk about the issues that are germane to each of these local governments, and in that process we're going to filter out what the most crucial of these issues might be. It could be road, it could be health centers, it could be schools, it could be employment, it could be safety. We identify all these different items and we're going to have to prioritize them, identifying which ones are most needed in each of the local governments. The reason why we must do that is because we know that funding is limited, and so there has to be a consensus on what the people need first. Remember now, as a representative, you're not going there to represent yourself, you're going to represent the people that have sent you on this mission. So it's critical that there is a buy-in, a consensus on what they want done first, where they want to spend their money first, how we're going to make sure that there is transparency, that those things that we are saying we are going to do with the resources that are available, that they, when time for implementation comes, that it will be very clear that we are following that roadmap.
Now, people will want to believe that by now you ought to have done your homework, probably interact with your constituents and know exactly what their needs may be, so that it will give you an opportunity when you get into office to hit the ground running from day one. Have you been able to reach out to your constituent and at least have an interaction with them to know exactly what is their most pressing needs?
Yes, we have. We've spent a lot of energy working at the grassroots level. But one thing that I must say that seems to come across as the most critical need of all three constituencies is the issue of honesty and accountability of leadership. I understand that that has nothing to do necessarily with building schools or helping build good roads and so forth. The thing is that the great majority of people have lost hope in the system. There's a lot of money that comes into the state and frankly into the local governments and the constituencies. People don't see anything being done with that money, so there is a lot of loss of hope. Everybody is clamoring to get individuals that are going to be totally accountable to them, that will have the fear of God in them. They believe that once we elect such people, then the other issues that are generally talked about in all three constituencies, roads is a big thing. Safety is not as critical, listening to them, but they need roads, they need jobs, they need good schools. A lot of them are talking about the frustration of having to send their children to private schools. They'd like to see us develop the public school system so that it is a little cheaper, but at the same time providing quality education. I ran into a situation in one of the villages where some lady was pregnant and needed to deliver a child at about 2 a.m. in the morning. They sent this lady to a so-called health center. When they got to this health center, there was no nurse there, there's no doctor there, there was nobody to attend to this lady. So now they have to figure out a way to take her, bring her to FMC, and on the road getting to FMC, this lady died. So there's a lot of clamoring to improve our health, so-called health centers, what we have there now. So people can have facilities that can attend to their healthcare needs in close proximity to where they live. So we do have health center issues. We do have need to create industries so that our youths will be gainfully employed. We have need for better roads so that people can get from point A to point B with their agricultural products and things of the like. So again, these issues are out there. But like I said, you don't begin to crystallize these things and create specific plans until you've had an opportunity to officially hold town hall style negotiation meetings with the three different local governments, and that's what we're going to do within 3 months of our election into office.
Now, Chief, you know very much that the major function of a lawmaker is primarily to make laws. With all these things you've highlighted, the issue of road, health, education, one will be wondering, that should be the function of the executive, not necessarily that of the legislator. But it seems you want to, dabble into that. How can you address that as a legislator?
I think it's misconceived for anybody to make the case that because you're going to legislation that you take your eyes off the ball. The responsibility of good governance in Abia State belongs to all elected officers. It starts with the governor, of course. Those of us that are aspiring to go to Abuja to represent us at the national level, we are first and foremost indigents of Abia State, and specifically in my own case, Ikwuano Umuahia Federal Constituency. There is the local government as well, and then we have our councillors. I'm very, very cognizant of all of that. But somebody has to take the responsibility to ensure that all the necessary checks and balances that will encourage, if not push, let's say the governor of the state to do what he or she is supposed to do is being done. Same thing with the local government chairman. Now, being a legislator as well, let's not forget there are constituency funds that will come to my office. There are constituency projects that will come to my office. We should also not forget that if you are a good legislator and you have the experience and the know-how, you can actually go after some grants. We can write grants to bring money into the constituency. So my point is, being a legislator does not in any way exempt me from paying attention to the needs of the people. And I know that there is the power and there is the financial resources that we have at our disposal that we can bring to bear to help remedy some of these very difficult needs that we have within the constituencies.
Also in your manifesto, Chief, you talk about the issue of attracting micro-tech industries to Ikwuano Umuahia Federal Constituency. Tell us more about that.
So I kind of alluded to this whole concept of being able to go and chase money outside of even the federal government of Nigeria. There are all sorts of grants that are out there. Some of them are environmentally related. Some of them are high-tech related. We have the capacity, the connection, by way of the several years that we've lived outside of this country and the relationships that we have created out there, to put together some of these packages and go out and source for money. When we find these funds, we will be able to inject them into some of these areas that we know right now we are actually lagging behind. We have a lot of our youths that are graduating out of our universities. Many of them are very high-tech minded. What they need is additional training and additional opportunities to create micro industries in those arenas. And one of the things that actually is listed on my manifesto is that this is an area that we're going to pursue very aggressively. If it requires us to create a high-tech district with our constituency money that will provide employment as well as research opportunities for young people in high-tech, we are going to do that.
Now let's talk about politics this time around, and that has to do with ABGA, your party. You are very much aware with the court cases here and there in your party. Some people, especially the governorship aspirants, former governorship aspirant, who have decided to take your governorship candidate to court. Up to this moment, those cases are very much alive in court. And the leadership crisis too in your party. Remember Nanu Kebu and Reverend Hiemira and the rest of them. Is that a distraction to your ambition?
Not really. I mean, I think the facts remains that APGA is not the only political party we have within the state and in the country that have these internal things that we are trying to resolve. The good news is this is why we have the courts, and this is also why we have INEC. It's their responsibility to help us sort some of these things out. Those of us that are candidates that don't currently have any of these issues to grapple with, I think we are focused on the campaign. We are focused on talking to the people and telling them what we will bring to make their lives better, all of our lives collectively better. Personally, Abarikwu is focused on that, and I am leaving this issue of sorting out some of those differences that we have within the party. I'm leaving it up to INEC and the courts.
All right, it's time for us to actually open the phone lines. Don't forget, I told you that we are going to have two guests. First, the first segment is Chief Engineer Abarikwu, the APGA candidate for Ikwuano Umuahia Federal Constituency. I'm sure you must have listened to him and heard what he said and what he intends to do for his constituents if eventually he gets elected. And on the flip side, we'll also be talking to a Labour Party supporter, but we'll get to that. It's time for us to open the phone lines so you there can actually be part of this discussion. But I must remind you, please, no name calling. Let us be civil in our submissions here. The numbers to call are 080-8182-6949 or 0811-605-2949. There's also an SMS line where you can send your text messages, and it is 090-651-08289. The Facebook is also there. You can go there and drop your comments. Hello, good morning. Okay, the numbers again are 080-8182-6949 or 0811-605-2949. Hello, good morning.
Hello, Benedict.
Good morning, welcome.
Good morning, friend. How you doing?
I'm good. And you?
I'm great.
Okay.
Engineer, good morning.
Good morning to you, sir.
Yeah, my name is Uncle Michael Vaughn. I'm talking to you from Obakala.
Okay.
In fact, listening to you keenly, engineer, I am convinced you are one of the people we are looking for. Yes. Then I'm so worried hearing this name, Abarikwu, and that means you are a brother to one Yoma International trading brand of Vision Africa. And what I'm going to advise you now, because politics and election is a game of numbers. Yes, reach out to this your trending sister. She has a wonderful fan club on radio. We are prepared to be your local apostles. This is the kind of people we want. Reach out to one Norma. Let her fan club stand up for you. You are the kind of people we want.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Not
Thank
the
you.
talk people.
All right. Thank you.
The do people. God bless you for coming up.
All right. Thank you. Thank you so much. Maybe you'll react to that later, but let's take another call now. Hello. Good morning.
Hello. Good morning.
Good morning. Welcome.
Thank you. Good night. Umuahia.
Okay.
Thank you. There is no doubt your guest has spoken intelligently. Yes, he has a chance to move the nation forward. But I'm only a little bit concerned that he is a civil engineer, has worked in the U.S. for 38 years. The duties primarily of lawmaking, of being a representative has to do with lawmaking, representation, and then oversight. I am not saying that he does not qualify, but I would have thought that he would have had some more experiences, perhaps in management, business, finance, and other things that will make him much more qualified for that job. He would have fitted in some other areas, but notwithstanding the democracy here is neither here or there. So he would have concentrated on that, his core competence area, such that when he gets into areas that has to do with engineering, we'll be talking about maybe road construction, bridges, building of schools, and other things. I don't think that now what we need are just foreign people who have acquired certificates in engineering to come and occupy offices. We need reforms at the Constitution.
All right. Thank you.
But we need law.
Thank you, Eric.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Hello. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Speak up a bit, please.
My name is Ikwuano from Ikwuano.
Welcome, Mr. Ubo, but just speak up.
Yes. Very well. And I love this program. But the problem I have with some of them, when you ask them, do they reach the stakeholders? Only few selected politicians, that's the people they discuss it. They don't come to the community and know the needs of the people. People who are interested in their money, they will come. I know when they came to our place, they give you rice, give you indomie, give you this. These are not what we need. There are certain things that the family that we need, and the people that we give the money don't reach to the people who will vote for them, and that is why when our time you see them they fail. I will advise me try to find a real community leaders, not to those who speak to fans, politicians that give you good, and at the end they cannot attract anyone vote. God bless you.
Thank you so much, Chief. You heard all their concerns there. It's time for you to react.
Well, I'd like to address the matter of experience and please, yes, I started out as a civil engineer, but anybody who knows the business of engineering or even accountancy or medicine, the way it works is if you are blessed, if you are very good at what you do, you ultimately go from being a technocrat to becoming a policy maker. I said that I worked for 10 years as an assistant city engineer. That position is strictly policy making decision where we are reporting directly to politicians within that community that governs the state the city that I was serving under. Number two, I said that for 24 years in the United States, I've served as CEO and principal of an engineering firm. What that simply means is everything and anything that has to do with business development, business management, individual resource management, all of those things, they come under that umbrella. So I have a wealth of experience that is needed to help guide governance in Abia State, but more specifically governance in Ikwuano, Umuahia Federal Constituency. And on the matter of involving more the grassroots, I love that question. In fact, I think that that's something that has made me very enduring to the people. Everybody and anybody that knows me knows that I've spent a lot of time talking to just like me, ordinary people like me. So the ones that are actually mad at me are the big wigs that feel we have to capitulate to them. My constituency are the ordinary people, the common people, and they are the ones I am coming to serve.
Okay, now to our Facebook page. This one is coming from Chukwubi Kem. He said, greetings to your guest. He's watching live from Okigwe. He said, we've been listening to all these candidates. On the day of election, we are going to vote the right people who we know are positive-minded, who can salvage Abians. Thank you so much, Chukwubi Kem. Soludo Huegu said, this man sounds so polished. Chief.
We thank God. What is actually more important to me is actually being able to get this opportunity to help begin to change the narrative, to make the difference, to become an example, to build a legacy. We have suffered far too long. Credible people, God-fearing people, people that have vision, people that understand the concept of servant leadership. It's about that time. And if I am granted this opportunity, God being my helper, there is absolutely no doubt in my mind that there won't be any regrets.
The first caller talked about you liaising with your sister. He appears to be a politician now. So maybe he has a political structure. We are going to harness to make sure that he delivers you.
Whichever way God guides and directs us, we will follow.
Let me sincerely thank you, the ABGA candidate for Ikwuano Umuahia Federal Constituency, Chief Engineer Abarikwu. Thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thank you so much for having me.